Well, welcome back to the Mad Monday podcast, brought to you by 4 and 20 Pies, the perfect at-home snack for watching rugby league. But Dai Henwood, we are not at home. We are live from Hallensteins Queen Street in Auckland. Hallensteins are going to be stocking Warriors kit for 2024. Another world first for the ACC, Dai, and I know that this is something you've been looking forward to for a long time.
Well, first of all, I'm not looking just at your beautiful face, Manaia. I'm actually looking at some cargo pants. I've been running the sums and I'm thinking about getting this 5.5 foot frame into some cargo pants. So we're broadcasting from the right spot. Word is the Warriors kit that's going to be flying out of Hallensteins is going to be pretty sick.
Yeah.
I must say the Warriors set a precedent from last year. They seem to be nailing the kit.
Yep.
They're nailing the game day experience. They're nailing the social media. It's on.
Yeah, it's full noise. And I know that you personally have had this on your bucket list for a long time, broadcasting from Hallensteins. So, you know, to be able to sort of make that kind of thing happen.
Mate, 1997, I first walked on stage as a stand-up comedian at Kitty O'Brien's down in Victoria Park. One thing was in the back of my mind. Get to a Hallensteins mid-afternoon within 27 years of this gig. And I've done that.
Look, it took you all 27 of them as well, but, you know, that'll happen. No, it's a beautiful store down here, as you mentioned. 2 for $99, the old, the baggy cargo pants.
Yeah, I'm sort of looking at that faded green colourway myself.
Yeah, I don't mind the cream. I think that my sort of
suit a
skin
cream
tone
will
has
go
set it
nice
off.
with that jersey as well.
With the Warriors kit.
Plus, there's a Warriors kit. They're smashing out the NFL kit as well. Hallensteins is on point.
Yep, the NFL kit's just down the bottom of the store here. They actually gave us a bit of it before the Super Bowl, and they're all restocked up as well. We've got Warriors packs to give away every commentary this season, the first of which is going to be 8 o'clock this very Friday against the Sharks. We'll get into that very shortly, but I just wanted to let you know, if this is the first of the Mad Monday podcasts you've listened to this year, we've now got a Facebook group, just like every other podcast, just like every other radio show that's ever existed. We've now got our very own Facebook group. It's called the Mad Monday Munters
I'll just jump
group.
in there, because people say when you're creating a Facebook group, it's all about URLs, easy to hit URLs. So we ran it through the algorithm. What are people going to remember? When you've got the facebook.com, you've got the /groups, it's a group, another /, then you want that catchy little name, easy to spell. What have we gone with?
Odin Ryan.
Indeed.
Odin Ryan, which I actually didn't know how that was spelled. I had to Google it before, because I actually manually put that in there, Oudenryn. Or if that's a little too hard to remember, just look up the Mad Monday Munters group. We're going to get that firing throughout the season, because I know, like, we've got a WhatsApp group that we try to use to organise this podcast, but it ends up just devolving into rantings about the games. So, and I know
rantings about the game, outrageous conspiracy theories, and what NRL-based player Pantsman Harrison has been molesting. After hours at some sort of viaduct proceedings. Yeah,
that's right. So we want to take it public. So go and jump in that group, and we'll be firing that up throughout the season. The Supercoach code is also in there. It's not too late to join our Supercoach league either, because the way Supercoach works, you can actually jump into a league after the season started, can't you?
Yeah, because we're not doing head-to-head. It's all about total points at the end of the season. And if you just search Supercoach NRL, there's plenty of resources out there for really quickly picking a team. It's not too late either. With the games coming up on the weekend, you will have only missed players from the 4 teams that played over in Vegas. So get involved with us. There's good chat to be had as well.
Yeah, 100%. Prizes up for grabs as well. There's a signed Warriors jersey. Obviously, bragging rights as well. I think there were about 1,000 people in the group last year. So to win that is pretty severe money, isn't it?
And some pretty heavyweight competition in there. So, so people know what they're doing. Some old heads like myself and Keezy got pretty slammed last year, actually.
He did very well right up until he got knocked out right at the end, but and then he went very, very quiet. But we're not just down here for Hallensteins just to have a look at the cargo pants, although 2 for $99 is a great deal. We've got a couple of the Warriors boys coming down, so that'll be released as a separate podcast. We've got Chance Nickel-Clockstad, Tanner Stower-Smith, Leka Halasima, and they're going to be popping down once we knock off this podcast. So keep an eye on this feed for that interview with
Must say I'm pretty excited, because Chance, he's an old head. People know him. People are excited about him. But Tanistauer Smith and Leki Halasima, they are young bucks.
Yeah.
They're both in the top 30 squad, so potentially could get a run this year at some point. But they've been tearing up New South Wales Cup. Can't wait to chat to them about what it's like actually coming through the grades, because now the Warriors are actually a full cohesive unit from pretty much under 16s right through.
Because they hadn't been up until the last couple of years, had they?
No, until was last year we sort of started establishing the 3 teams. This year we've gone to the full 5 teams, and that means there's a lot of kids. I know my son's he plays rugby. One of the brothers of the team, he had been poached by Roosters.
Really?
Situation to go to, because the Roosters and the Bulldogs recruit very heavily in the secondary schools.
Yeah.
So actually having a pathway now where young kids can look to earn money, not have to leave the whānau, and can play at Mount Smart, which is becoming a fortress, bro. And what a way to kick it off with an 8 p.m. Friday game.
Oh, it's going to be absolutely ravenous. I've got my tickets. I'm looking forward to getting down there. There's nothing like a Mount Smart crowd. You know, anywhere in New Zealand, you look at Super Rugby, bless it, but the crowds just aren't there. Then you look at what we saw towards the end of last year, and there's about 25,000 people baying for blood in the fortress in the fruit bowl of Go Hard Stadium.
One has to say that potentially that prelim game against the Knights was one of the biggest games of all time at Mount Smart.
Oh, for sure.
There's going to be plenty more this year, so make sure you get along. We want to make that a fortress. We'll be there. We'll be bringing you commentary from every home game.
Yep.
And we'll be covering every away game as well from the Export Beer Garden studio. But there were some games on the weekend, bro. What do you think?
NRL's back. It was a little bit of a false start. Obviously, the Sunday afternoon was awesome to have those couple of games, but then it left you wanting a little bit more. I thought that the whole Vegas experiment itself, I think we talked about it in the group chat, was like, it was a bit propagandary. Oh, Simon Bridges is walking past just out the front there, former national leader, just on the horn.
I know. He's I hopped on his podcast actually.
It's funny who you see down here at
last year. I sidetracked it talking about psychedelics, and he didn't quite know what to do, and then sort of faded out.
And now he's come down here and sidetracked us by walking past. But the Vegas thing I thought was really cool. I just thought the lead into that first game, it was an hour long, and it was just an hour of them going, man, how awesome is it? Peter V'landys take a bow. Reece Walsh is a superstar. It felt like a little bit of the NRL propaganda machine.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
And look, what I'm about to say, I love the idea of Vegas. I'm not being the negative Nelly hammering it. But when everybody, like this was the junket from hell, bro. Like,
hell yeah.
So many journalists were paid to go over.
Yeah.
They had the tabs picked up at these amazing places.
Yeah.
Buzz Rothfield watched the game from the Millennium booth, which had tomahawk steaks.
That would have killed Buzz.
Tomahawk steaks, prawn tacos, leather booths with bottle service while you're watching the game. I can't quite get a bead on how successful it was because everyone was there drinking the Kool-Aid. To be honest, the fact that it was 2/3 full at over 40,000 was pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's huge.
Granted, half of those were Aussies, but
more than half, I would say.
More than half, because you'd have all the expats who are living there.
Yeah.
I am dubious. I know this may sound cynical, but I feel they're after gambling money.
They are, yeah. I think V'landys even might have said as much. Is
why they went to Vegas.
Yeah.
I love the idea. I love turning it around. It is a bit of a sparkle to kick it off. It works great for a New Zealand. A 3:30 then a 5:30 game on a Sunday afternoon.
It was excellent.
Absolutely cracker. And we'll dial in on those games now. They were crackers, I thought.
I thought
they were both great games. I looked at them, both games. What I thought in terms of selling the product is both games were nicely different.
Yeah.
The Roosters just bought the brutality.
Yep.
And the Sea Eagles Rabbitohs one was just a running affair. It
was end to end.
Where I was talking about buying the Kool-Aid, what I found interesting with the Broncos was the NRL have obviously pumped the tyres of Reece Walsh, right?
Big time.
He is the guy they wanted to sell. So any time he got the ball, it was, he's an absolute rock star. He's a superstar. Look at the things this guy can do, and going, well, he just caught the ball off a backline move and fell over the line. Like, and
he's hardly set the world on fire.
He had beautiful touches with that little grubber.
Yes, well, it was a step, fin, a little grubber.
Yeah, but then also he got massively ironed out a few times by Victor Radley.
Oh, yeah. And also on defence, he shot way out of the line and let the Roosters get away on him.
Oh, I was glad you picked that up, because when I was watching it, he shot out of the line and I went, if they go right, there's going to be one defender less. And that's exactly what they did.
Enough. That's exactly what it was. You were right. It was so end-to-end, particularly that Eagles-Rabbitohs one. I thought that Latrell Mitchell looked phenomenal, and we'll get into our Supercoach points later on. I think he might have scored about 5,000 points. He looked tremendous. The Souths looked... they looked about as good as the Souths do. This is a Souths performance, isn't
it? To me, it showed that they were missing two backs.
Mm.
When they get Jack Whiten and Campbell Graham back in that side,
I mean,
that is it. I've
only just realised Jack Whiten wasn't in there.
No, because he was suspended for the first few games.
For fighting with Latrell.
Yeah. Richie Kenner, the poor dude, he just had one of those games where the definition of rocks and diamonds.
Yeah.
Scores a try, horrendous defensive read.
Yeah.
He just couldn't click. Their backs, they just struggled with their backs. They're missing two gun players.
Yeah.
That left edge, they scored a try down there, that Kolomatangi, Latrell Mitchell, Cody Walker, Alex Johnston.
It's tough to deal with.
And I just thought that the Seagulls were fitter. I thought Souths just got tired.
I thought the Seagulls looked tremendous. Olakau'atu, he showed what he can do. It was good, when you're like, it felt like when you're showing a movie to someone who hasn't seen the movie and you have and you love it, and you're like, oh, watch this part. Every time Olakau'atu got the ball, it's like, oh, watch this guy, he goes mean. Or Tom Trbojevic got, like a half breakaway out of his own end goal. You're like, oh, watch this guy, he's mean. And all of those guys, they stood up, Saab got a intercept breakaway. He got that other one off the flick pass from Trbojevic that I think he actually ended up getting cut down. But it was a great NFL promo for Saab. He pitched his case to the scouts that may or may not have been there. But I thought the Seagulls looked great. And
I'm not a massive Seagulls fan, but I love seeing Tom Trbojevic back playing well, because he's a real star. The Trbojevic brothers are very likeable. Ben, Jake, and Tom.
Burbo, Gerbo, and Turbo.
When I'm talking about Gerbo, though, Latrell gave him the mean bumpers early in that game. There was some great bump-offs in that. You had four basically star fullbacks. All of them sort of delivered.
Yep.
I think that this was probably as good a... serving of rugby league you could show to an American public.
I agree, yeah.
How did you enjoy the reffing?
Well, the reffing was one of the things that I was worried about coming into this game, because it was like, what are they going to do? Because they've had such a big crackdown. It's like, can we really advertise this as no pads, no helmets, and then every time someone gets hit in the head, oh, shit, hold on. No, we're going to stop the game. We're going to bin this. Because the Americans are straight away going to be like, oh, well, you should probably put pads and helmets on if this is how you're going to play.
Especially, it was a bloodbath for Manly. Dude, Lachlan Croker was...
Yeah, and also, like, you've got any game that Victor Radley's involved in, like, there's going to be a head high.
How awesome was it seeing Victor Radley tackling properly?
Yeah.
Because he just shows he doesn't need to take people's heads off.
Yeah, you don't have to kill people.
No.
You can just, put hard shots on without taking the
And
heads
if anyone out there has footage... Apparently... So, Ludacris played the NRL after party.
Did he?
There was the official NRL after party where a few fans, refs and that.
Yeah.
And word is Adam G and Ashley Klein were going buck wild at the front for Ludacris. If anyone has images of that,
That would be the greatest. That'd be the greatest footage of all time if you could get your hands on that. Adam G and Ashley Klein just going hell for leather at the mosh pit.
So I was just
Ludicrous.
thinking, how much did this trip cost the NRL? Because Ludicrous ain't playing for free.
Not for cheap, although Volandis did claim that they made their money back. He reckons it washed its own face this trip. I feel like that's kind of something you'd have to say, but I don't know. You're right. I don't think that would have, because the tickets were about $20.
Yeah, like they wanted the
crowd in there, so they weren't making a lot off the ticket sales. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see. They said that they've committed for 5 more years.
The ratings. So the ratings for Fox in Australia, that was the biggest opening weekend ever.
Of course it was. I mean,
I think it rivaled State of Origin.
Right. Shit.
And I haven't seen the numbers for Fox, where out of America, where they showed it.
Yeah. Right.
But where I'm not dubious, but where I'm interested is America has such a rich sporting culture, right? For any fans of American sport out there, if you like basketball and NFL, that's a lot of games in a year.
Yeah.
If you want to chuck baseball in there, then you're done.
You're up
You've
over
got no
300.
time.
No,
yeah.
100%. Well, this is what I was saying. Is like if it's the equivalent of if you were in Las Vegas and there was a Gaelic football match going on. It's probably not going to convince you, is it? You're probably just like, I want to go see the White Tigers.
Yeah.
Just carry on with my day. So I don't know how much it's going to sway them being over there. I think, to be fair, the main advantage was how much fun we found it as fans, and obviously the guys that went over there. But what do the Warriors have to do to get on the next junket?
Well, word I'm hearing, I've sort of reached out to a few of my sources over in Australia in the NRL scene, and there's a lot of appetite for the Warriors.
Yeah.
Because what sold this was having 20,000 plus people in league jerseys walking the strip.
Yeah.
Right? Matty John's doing shoeies with Roger Shuey Vasashek.
What was he over there?
Yeah, Roger Shuey Vasashek, there's a video of him doing a shoey, and Matty Johns comes and gives a go, mate. And so he has a van full of Fosters. Or is having that many people out there, that in itself's a promotion.
Yeah.
So New Zealand fans travel, right?
Big time.
So imagine that. If and they're going to announce it within the month.
Really?
Yes. So fans have like just under a year to prep.
Oh, that's too much for me. That's too much time. I'm going to lose my mind.
Yeah.
My dad will be ringing me as soon as that announcement comes up. I've already bought us tickets. We're going to Vegas.
We're going. I think I'm going to go.
Yeah.
Because
why wouldn't you?
Why wouldn't you? That Allegiant Stadium, that vibe.
Yeah.
It'd be so cool.
Plus, you can smoke at the pokies over there. You know.
I'm tempted to just actually buy Pantsman Harrison a ticket just so I can follow him round.
I'll chip in.
And he can be my entertainment.
I'll chip in. We'll have a whip around in the Mad Monday Munters Facebook group.
I'm also worried someone like the Pantsman, Joel Harrison, might not survive more than 3 days in Vegas.
I don't know. He has surprising stamina, the Pants Man. I've seen him turn up absolutely trashed on day 3 of a bender, having just urinated into the floor vent of his in-laws, allegedly, and still just operate at a level, you know. So
let's talk quick tactics.
Okay.
Say you go, you want to maximise your time, right?
Yes.
You don't want to just be there for the game.
Mm-hmm.
Do you go with long enough, say like that 5-day window, where you go hard for a couple of nights, then the razzle-dazzle wears off, and you can just get into a bit more of a calm situation where you're seeing a couple of shows, you're going out to the machine gun range or whatever.
Right.
You're not just going balls to the wall steamage.
Or do you go game first night fever, you go to the games, and then see how long you can kick on afterwards?
So you land, and you're just there. You hit the game on the come up.
Yeah. Because me personally, I just think day 4, I know exactly how I'm going to feel, and I would hate to wake up on the morning and be like, really, is it today?
Yeah, I have to go to the game?
I think you go second night. So first night you land, it's first night fever. You're walking into the airport, Viva Las Vegas. You're in the pink bloody limo going up the strip. Then the next day you're just rolling through. You go and watch all of the games.
You've still got enough adrenaline and excitement to get you through any hangover.
Yes, yeah, exactly. But then day 3 you're just That's when you're out. That's when you're out firing rocket launchers at cows or whatever it is that you want to go and do. Go see Candy in the Crystal Palace or whatever you want to get into. So I'm looking forward to that announcement very soon. Hopefully the Warriors are part of that. This is going to be huge for us. Maybe we could take some listeners along with us. We'll see how we get on. It's time for a quick break. We'll be right back in a second to preview the Warriors' first match of the 2024 season, also known as Our Year. Thanks to our mates at Sky Sport. We have 5 one-month Sky Sport subscriptions to give away here on the pod today, so you don't have to miss a game. To get your hands on one, just text SKY to 3236. That's SKY to 3236 now to get in the draw. Also, the Sky band Wagon will be cruising around Auckland taking people to the Warriors vs Sharks game this Friday, March 8th. You can catch them at the Cloud at 5 p.m. and Mangere Town Centre at 6 p.m. and you can wave them down for a chance to hop on, score some tickets and some gear. Make sure you catch every NRL game live on Sky Sport this season and our coverage on Sky Sport 9. All right, as we all know, Dai Henwood, so we're still down here at Hallensteins. Someone's just pointed in the window at Dai. They've just gone, oh, it's bloody Dai Henwood. It also helps that we've got the ACC Mad Monday logo in the window as well. And just beyond the window, it looks like a security van.
That's a currency management van that dangerously looks like it's ram raiding something.
It looks like it's ram raiding the nearest a cash machine, but that's by the by. That's not what we're here down at Hallensteins for. We're here to preview the first game, and it is this Friday at Go Hard Stadium, the Fruit Bowl at Mount Smart against the Sharks. I've got the team list on the bottom. Di, when you cast your eye across it, what's sort of the first thing that you notice in that team list?
So when I'm looking at the team list, first up, I'm pretty excited.
Yep.
My eyes jumped straight to Luke Metcalf at number 6.
Yes.
Basically the spots where there was a bit of hunger around them. I was wondering, Tamari Martin, his pros. He's a great passer both sides. Mm-hmm. He can unlock this sort of amazing backline we've got.
Hot.
However, he's very hot.
He's very hot.
However, Luke Metcalf, massively proven himself.
Yeah.
Massively proven himself at the back end of last year and in the trials. He's comboing well with Sean Johnson. Mm-hmm. What I'm also loving is I feel Marcelo Montoya is going to have a cracking year outside RTS.
I agree with that. I was saying actually to his long-suffering wife, who Joel Harrison notoriously pests around, I was saying to her, he's got the best job in the NRL, standing outside Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I would not be surprised if he was in the running for the highest try scorer in the league this year.
Because Roger, we saw it in the trials. I forgot, because he's got that really late sort of both sides footwork where he holds the ball in the middle of his chest and sort of does the wobble.
Yeah.
He always beats that first tackle and he puts a jink in that defensive line. So Marcelo's going to fire.
Yep.
Also, I think it's underrated how much Roger organises a defensive line. He did that hard out from the back. So that means he can really be putting people in the right spots and just get us set.
Yeah, he is, like you mentioned, he is a one-man wrecking crew. And what happens is because we attack the right side, that's where we scored all of our tries down that right side. DWZ's down there. Sean Johnson was throwing these passes that he couldn't even see who was throwing to. It bunches the defence up on that side. Now, all of a sudden, if that doesn't work, we've got this massive left edge. You're all bunched up on the right-hand side. So somebody is going to have to go one-on-one with RTS, and I reckon that is one of the biggest nightmares in the NRL.
There's few teams, like outside of players like your Campbell Grahams, who are good enough one-on-one tacklers to take RTS. Plus, there's Tane Tuapiki at the back, Chance Nickel-Klukstad. He's coming back from injury, and they're just taking it slow. Why not? Tane is a amazing player. It's also nice to see him getting first-grade experience, but where he's not expected to play the whole year, so he can just have a few weeks.
Just figure it out.
Play his ass off.
We don't expect you to win games for us, You're out there just to play a game. Learn as much as you can from guys like RTS. Learn as much as you can from just being out there in the fire. And then, like you say, either drop back to the bench or maybe you drop back to the reserve grades and just carve up.
Pompey has been usurped by Rocco Berry, took that centre spot, which, while we're going through this team list, I'll also segue to the New South Wales Cup team list that reads almost like a Warriors front line.
Yes, yeah.
CHT, Tamari Martin, Adam Pompey, Edward Kossi,
Ali Leatawa.
Ali Leatawa. It's just stacked. So we've got great depth. Now looking at these forwards. Front row, Adam, Wigan and Mitch Barnett. I love that.
Yep.
We're missing Marata Niakore, he's in the prop rotation this year. He's
in the middle, yeah.
So he's going to be in the middle. He had a great game in the trials.
Yes.
And I can't wait to see him back. But he's not that missed because we've got Bunty and Tom Ale who will be the rest of that rotation. How good was Bunty playing like 60 minutes last week?
Yeah, Bunty was excellent. Bunty's always been one of my favourite players. I've got a soft spot for him. You and I both have the same T-shirt with Bunty R4 on it. Someone mentioned there's a similar thing in the Facebook group. They said, looks like a solid unit and we still have chance of Marata to walk back into the side. I think Leatawa will be banging down the door if Rocco doesn't fire up in the first few rounds. Fucking fizzing. Leatawa looked great in the trials as well, didn't he?
Yes, and also in that New South Wales Cup team is Jazz Tavanga.
Yes. Because
he's fallen off the bench. We've only got one of the Ball brothers on there.
Yes, so the reason for that is he's just actually had a child.
Oh, congrats to Jazz.
Yeah, just a touch early. The kid just couldn't wait around, so they're just like, bugger it, we're going to get out here now. And so they've just been working away with that with the family. So he's missed a little bit of pre-season. So he's named on the extended bench, Jazz. But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw him shuffled up the order a little bit before Friday. I wouldn't be shocked if he ended up on the bench for this one.
No, and look, I'm quite comfortable with Freddie Lussick, Tom Ale. Freddie is there to spell
Wigan. He's
got good service.
Yes.
He hasn't put a foot wrong. He's not going to blow the doors off.
No.
But he's solid.
And you'd have to think that when Jazz is ready and good to go, he's probably going to spell Wigan in that, in place of Lussick. He just offers us a little bit more versatility.
And maybe the bigger shots and a few things like that.
It's sort of in that Brandon Smith mould when he does that.
Yeah, completely. And Tom Ale had a great season last year. The thing, I mentioned the minutes from Bunty.
Sorry, yeah.
I felt his work rate was so much higher than I've seen before.
Yes.
And
it was 60 minutes straight, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think this could be Bunty's year. I think someone seems to have put the firecracker under him and gone, brother, you got to go.
Let's go. I think they're right. And someone else mentioned in the group chat as well, in the Facebook group, that they are hoping to see one of either him or Tom Ale step up, because we've got Mitch Barnett in the middle, and he is sort of one of these new age props. He was a second rower. He's a big bastard, so he can certainly munt around in the middle, but we are sort of just a prop short, aren't we?
Yeah,
so it's one of these guys needs to stand up and be like,
especially when you start playing big muscle teams.
Yes.
The like the Roosters, the Eels, those sort of teams. And looking at who they're going against, this backline matchups are looking pretty tasty, man. Yeah. Those centres, Ramian and Siosifa Talakai, both very good.
Yes.
Both. Siosifa Talakai, probably a better runner than a tackler.
Yep.
Then you've got Ronaldo Mulatalo, who just speaks for himself. Braden Trindle's going to be going up against Metcalf.
Yep.
Bit of a muchness. I'm pretty excited about Trindle. I think there's a bit more excitement in Metcalf.
Yep.
And Hines versus Johnson.
This is huge.
Johnson played for Hines. There's a couple of matchups here. Johnson and Hines, and Adam Whenua-Blake playing against the team that he is going to next year.
Yes, and interestingly, no Hamlin Uele is not in the team for the Sharks, which is good news for us. It's old Origin Kaufusi, and Royce Hunt's going to get the start. It'll be very interesting to see how many minutes Royce Hunt can play consecutively, because I feel like last year he came off and just did 6-minute spells and then was back off
He's
again.
one of those players that I go, if he could lock in like 2 20s or even a 15 and 20 minute spell, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But it's like he has 2 massive hit-ups and he's, it's a bit much, mate.
So let's see how the off-season has been
and
for him.
Someone who I've always loved, actually, since Sean Johnson connected with him a lot, was Brinton Nakota.
Yeah, big time.
He remember when Shawnee J was there, he had just on that right edge, just constantly putting him into gaps.
Look long, hit short, and he runs a devastating line, does old Britain.
Yeah, a bit like what Murata does, actually.
Yeah, Murata really punches some holes. So, what's your prediction for this game? How do you see it going?
So, I see us as slightly above the Sharks.
Yes. Well, so does the TAB. In fact, they've got us at $1.55. Sharks are almost $3, I think.
I think it's going to be closer than that.
Yeah.
I think the Sharks team, they've got a big bench. Dale Finucane, Jack Williams, Toby Rudolph and Thomas Hazelton. Thomas Hazelton had a good game last year. It's going to be a nightmare coming over and playing the Wars at the Fruit Bowl.
After last year.
My money, my heart, my head is on the Warriors. I think there's going to be a few little hiccups along the way, though, being the first game of the season, finding combinations. My outside pick is Tane Tuapiki for first try scorer.
Oh, I don't mind that. And I wish I'd talked to you before I placed our TAB Game Day Good Punt, because I have gone for a massive vibe punt. That's RTS ATS, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, anytime try scorer. WAS 13 plus. The TAB have kindly boosted those odds to $7.50. We're going to put a $100 bonus bet on that.
That is juicy. Let me tell you, if I'm seeing a Tuivasa-Sheck try and a 13-point win, so the Wars get points differential and 2 points on the board for the season, I'm going to be a happy human. And $7.50, I reckon you're taking a pretty good punt there.
It's good, Eden. And if you want to get involved in things like that, you can head to the TAB website, tab.co.nz, or download the TAB app and place a 3 or more league same game multi on selected NRL games. You'll get refunded up to $50 as a bonus bet if you miss by one league. That is R18. Bet responsibly. Time for one more quick break, because I feel like the Warriors, I can smell them. They're just around the corner, and then we'll wrap this pod up for the day. All right, just quickly before we knock this on the head, live from Hallensteins, Dai Henwood. Supercoach, obviously only the 2 games. It's a split round. They were sort of calling it round 0, this one. So any big takeaways from your Supercoach team? Again, only 2 games, so probably haven't had too many players play.
So I was excited by... I went with Travojevic at fullback.
Turbo? So did I.
Tommy Turbo. What I was excited with is the fact that he got 81 with 0 tries.
Yes.
And also no huge scintillating breaks. He just made a lot of tackle breaks, a lot of tackles. So I think he's going to be comfortable. Then Ben Turbo. Burbo on 72 points. Yes. He was nice. I took a risk on the Hectic Cheese at backup hooker.
So did I.
And 48 points there. Where I'm struggling with now that the teams have been released.
Yes.
I can't quite... I've got 2 non-playing players.
Right, 2 nuffies.
Like, I thought Kane Bradley was going to get a run at the Storm.
Yes.
And that Stewart was going to get a run at the Raiders.
Right.
So I've sort of had a shuffle there. I don't mind that, because I don't mind having a player I can loop.
Yeah.
If I've got a tasty little matchup.
I've never trusted myself with the loop. I'm too forgetful. I always stuff it up.
I'm probably putting the captain on Cleary and going quite safe.
Yes,
however, he is playing the Storm.
Yeah. The Storm have never lost the first round when Craig Bellamy's coached them.
And also, this is, air quotes, his last year.
Yeah.
He sort of said it could be. So if this is his last year, the team are going to be playing hard for him.
Oh, yeah. I've gone full stars and scrubs in my team. I've got Ponga and Trebojevic. I have Hines and Cleary. I've got Grant. I've got Dylan Brown. And then I've got the nuffies. I've got your Willisons, Henrys, Jed Cartwright. What's his name? Dylan Egan. So, I don't know. For me, the Latrell was one of those ones where he's a big money player, so it was a real iffy one whether you were going to put him into your team. But if you did, he really paid off on the weekend.
But he did, and he also did a very Latrell thing. He was on 99 with 30 minutes to go, and then only got like 102 or 105.
Yeah, he did.
So he's such a vibe player. When he's in a mood, you're going to go big. And also, he's a player that it only actually takes 20 minutes for him to put on 100 points.
It does, yeah. And because all of the things that he does, he breaks tackles, he offloads, he kicks goals, he does all these sorts of things. So I think for him, I wouldn't say he was a surprise, but anyone who picked him would have been heavily rewarded for that. Spencer Leniu, we didn't talk about it, but the Spencer Leniu, Ezra Mam thing. You drop Spencer Leniu, don't you?
It just sucks because it was like going so well.
Yeah.
And it's just such a dumb comment. I think Spencer's in for a long period on the sideline, mainly because every time he's interviewed, he seems to double down on it rather than... So what I've realised is I went through and I listened to, he did an interview with Channel 9, he did an interview with Triple M just after the game. He never has denied it.
No. He said, this is what happens on a rugby field. It's between the boys. It stays on the field. Would it have killed you to just come out and just be like, that's not me. I apologise to him at the time, blah, blah, blah. No, he is doubling, tripling down. He wanted to have a stoush with him afterwards.
Yeah. Also...
so he'll be gone for a while.
What I find interesting is it has really brought out some very dumb takes from some pretty borderline uneducated people on the internet.
Like who?
This is not necessarily that description, but John Hopewadi's come out pretty hard nuts, as long with a lot of other people who are like, oh, they're both brown, bro, so it's not racism. And go, no, racism is about race. There are lots of races that are vaguely the same colour.
Yeah.
Also, strictly if you want to look at it, they're different colours. Ezra Mam and Spencer are different.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
They're obviously different races. And also people not understanding, going, oh, he just called him a animal in the zoo. And going, no, the specific animal that he used has a history of deep racism and very different deep insults.
That's right.
About brain activity, how you act, so forth. So Spencer Leniu, if he had just done what you said, front-footed it, went, I've got to take my beans, it's not me.
Brain explosion, didn't realise that was even in my vocabulary. I'm going to work hard to
And I apologise, I wasn't saying it as a racial slur.
Nah.
But the fact is, then there was an altercation in the hallway at the hotel.
Yes.
Because the NRL put them on the same floor.
Yep.
Which was interesting. Thankfully, the media manager, who is quite a diminutive woman, managed to step in between the players and completely shut it down. So there's no part of it in the game. I don't believe that is in Spencer's character.
No.
Having listened to people who've travelled with him, he's a lovely guy, but we can't have any racism in the game. And Trent Robinson will be so annoyed because Spencer Leniu is an amazing player.
Yeah, he'll be absolutely furious. So the long and short of all of that is drop him, go and check your teams, make sure that you've got full reserves set up there, and if you're not already, jump in our Super Coach team. The code is in the Mad Monday Munters group on Facebook. Just quickly, I can see Chance Nickel-Clockstad out the front. He's shaking hands, he's kissing babies. He's being swarmed on Queen Street just outside of Hallensteins here, so we'll knock it on the head. But just before we go, this year, for all home games of the Warriors, we, the Mad Monday commentary team, will be doing the commentary live from the ground.
Oh, this is big. We had a huge year last year. The numbers were through the roof. The vibe was through the roof. The community was through the roof. We wanted to take it to the next level through a lot of punishing admin that I had nothing to do with except texting people, are we commentating from the ground?
Are we doing this?
We're at the ground. I've seen a photo of where we're at. You've been out there.
Yep.
We've got accreditation.
Yep.
Our Mad Monday talisman, Dai Henwood, my son's got accreditation. He's going to be out there at every home game. I'm fizzing, mate.
This is huge, Fizz. Where we're sitting in the commentary box, we're next to the travelling team's coach. So where you see, we're just a couple of doors down from where Webby and our boys are going to sit.
We might make it on the screen.
Well, this is what I'm saying. Like, what do we need to do in there to draw a bit of attention to ourselves? The window opens, so if you're sitting in front of us, say good day.
Hey, so we're actually down and to our left is Shuivas Ashek as well.
Yes, that's right.
So he's because he's in front of the home coaches.
Yes,
box.
he is. So this is huge stuff for the ACC. This is going to be very exciting. All of the away games will still do from, as you said before, the Export Ultra Beer Garden. But really looking forward to that. And this is all of our commentary, of course, brought to you by 4 and 20. And we've got 4 and 20 4-pack prize pack each month. We're giving away 4 tickets to a Warriors home match and 4 and 20 4-pack vouchers. To enter, just text the monthly keyword to 3236. Listen to the podcast eps to find the new keyword each month. For this month, it is 4, F-O-U-R. F-O-U-R. Text that to 3236. All right. Let's have a yarn to Chance, shall we? He's just standing right in front of us.
Let's do it. How good does life get?
Doesn't get much better than this. Look at us, eh? All right, enjoy this. Stay tuned to this feed and watch out for the interview with the Warriors coming out shortly. Otherwise, we'll see you Friday, 8 p.m, Sky Sport 9.